war against absentee civil servants in the country. The new gesture from the Minister of Public Service and Administrative Reform, Joseph Anderson Lay. Get to read that on that set paper. Very soon we'll beat Martinez Zogo, the final farewell, after the court martial or the SAT yesterday on the issue of the Martinez Zogo affair. We move forward with the next publication for this day. Municipal update of Victor Bamacham report on sustainable local development in Limbe. Paul Efumengale wins Best City Mayor. In that said paper, African Union Okos at 20 says what future for African civil society. Taking you to fast-track digital solution, government launches agri-tech innovation challenge to boost agriculture. AMEF Executive Director awarded Humanitarian Actor of the Year. Get to read more on that paper for this morning. And we take you to the news. The news from Bamenda report on head on inside presidency. SG Dr. Chi Asef for chronicles merits of 7-year-old National Commission for the Promotion of Bilingualism and Multiculturalism. Get to read more on that said paper for today. U.S. Embassy workshop delivers on safety of journalists when assignment turns dangerous. Moving on to Chinwu and Chris-led leadership at Bamenda 2 Council. Get to read that on that said paper for this morning. Northwest Governor Delele Africa Adolf knighted for bravery. Away from that, we now take you to the next publication for this morning. The Eagles, Eko du Palamang talks of holiday football championship in the Mayo Sava. It says El Haj Bukar Abdurrahim promotes peace and living together in this football tournament taking place in the northern part of the region. Next door to Terre Promis Hebdo for this morning talks of the Olympic Games in Paris, France. It says the podium by Paul Biya and the documents regarding the petroleum sector and the Sonara situation. What is happening with the Sonara situation of the reconstruction of that said national refinery? Results of the GC examination. The paper reports on the Central region who heads the best in terms of performance in the nation, Cameroon. Leadership newspaper reports on Tinubu signs new minimum wage bill into law. It says 2 days to go. More groups back out of planned protests on hunger. Yoruba nation not part of planned protests, says Iyagbo. We move on to Edo gubernatorial elections. It talks of the Independent National Electoral Commission of Nigeria raises security concern. The Guardian for this morning reports on refineries crude for Naira deal amid fuel scarcity. SIM blockade fury. In that said paper, federal government puts VCs on a red alert over planned protests, and subscriber get receipt as NCC orders reactivation of lines. Daily Sun for this morning is reporting on nationwide protest. National Assembly summoned emergency meeting to take place tomorrow, and 2024 30 Nigerians died in Saudi Arabia. Igbo youth disassociate selves from planned protests, demand Kanu's release. And Sporting Sun for this morning talks of Liverpool joins race for Victor Osimhen. Moving on to this other story, talks of NFF finally pay Falconet bonuses allowance for 2022 World Cup. We move on to this other story that talks of the young Yamal from Spain. It says Yamal unfolds TikTok influencer's girlfriend after she was shown in a viral video sitting on another boy's lap. Get to read more on that said paper for today. Away from that, we talk on the Olympics unfolding in Paris. The paper report on Oshuala blames poor finishing to why Super Falcons lost to Spain. You can find more on that said paper for this day. We come back to Cameroon with Le Quotidien. Le Quotidien report on President Paul Biya's project for 2025. If I will go to my village or if I will remain in town. That is what you can find on Le Quotidien newspaper for this morning. From Le Quotidien, we take you to Buea with the paper Volcanic Times of Charles Mbola. It says Mahmoud chieftaincy, King Charles reigns begins. There to read that story on that said paper. Buea Urban Football Tournament, fair play, social cohesion, living together on spotlight. In that said paper, Mr. and Mrs. Mbela Singh donate huge consignment to Tico Health District ahead of National Interpol. Buea United fans, sympathizers raise millions of CFA francs for the set football club in the town of Buea. And we move on to Le Repos info for this morning. Talks of the National Investment Fund. It says Yao Aisatu benefits more in this set investment fund with the confidence from the presidency of the republic. Vision Economy for this morning talks of the rapid bus services. Says a financial accord worth 261 billion CFA francs has been signed by Paul Biya. We crossed over to the banking sector where Africa Golden Bank opens her doors to Cameroon. Get to read more on that said paper. Le Point for this morning talks of presidential elections 2025, the candidature of Paul Biya. He says the griefs. Get to read that on that said paper for today. And the paper talks of when will Paul Biya announce his candidacy or decline that. Get to read that story for this morning. Expression Economy for today talks of the public sector 13,070 billion CFA francs debt of Cameroon has been incurred from the month of June 2024. And we cross over to the brewery industry. Talks of the Ministry of Trade who insists on the prices of brewery product not to have an increase. And Grand Aigle for this morning report on the Lekki division. The head of state received more accolade from this one from the Lekki division, from the youth of the Lekki division in the central region of the country. Moving on to the Voice of Randy Josa, it talks of Semper Award Special. Dr. Christopher Fominyon named Man of the Year. And in that said paper, the paper talks of Mark Gribi ICO grabs best eye health hospital in the country. We move on to microfinance sector and how Damco wins the poverty alleviation grassroots empowerment champion of the year. Away from that paper, we now move on to the next publication on our disposal. We move forward with this other story from the Nigerian News Direct. It talks of Senate to pass additional 6.2 trillion naira fund to new minimum wage package, and FCC approved 57 billion naira for rehabilitation of Abeokuta Igbori Ilaro roads. Get to read more on that said paper. Access Bank Nigeria backs double awards at the Euro Money Award for ESG. Nigerian News Direct for this morning talks of planned protests. National Assembly hold emergency session tomorrow. In that said paper, Zenith Bank set to raise 290 billion naira capital through right issue public offers. Get to read details on that publication for this morning. And away from that, we now take you to the Dawn. The Dawn for this day talks of crisis in CPDM Fako 1A section. Senator for Tabetan Donzepso calms the storm. Makaka triumphs. Get to read that on that said paper. Catholic Women Association celebrates 60 years of existence in POM in Buea, as that celebration was spearheaded by the Pope's representative to Cameroon, the Apostolic Nuncio to Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea, His Eminence His Eminence Julio Morat. And we move on to Egodev celebrates 25 years of environmental conservation. Kumba, it says women lament against drug abuse by their children in the town of Kumba. Get to read that on that publication for this day. We take you now to our international tabloids. We start off with Daily Mail. Daily Mail for today talks of Southport stabbing horror. It says 2 children dead in holiday club carnage. And in that said paper, now we know who will pay for labor spending. Old folks, old mothers' pension. Get with that on that said paper. Was this the greatest combat in Britain's Olympic history? That's a question the paper is asking on Daily Mail for this day. Away from Daily Mail, we take you to another British tabloid. That is the Daily Star. Daily Star for today talks of 2 children stabbed to death in knife rampage and carnage at a kids club. We move on to BBC House. Incidences peak charge and medal Monday. Get rid that on that British tabloid on Daily Star for this morning. From Daily Star, we now take you to the next publication, that is I for today talks of deadly knife attack at children's dance class and 10 million to lost winter fall allowance. You can find more on that said paper for this morning. And we move on to how to look like in Paris. You can find more on the Paris Olympic that is still unfolding in the French capital city of Paris. We take you now to Daily Mirror. Daily Mirror for today says every parent's nightmare, night horror at holiday kids club. The paper talks of Diva Tom's family silver medal won at yesterday's Olympics tournament of the Paris Olympics. And Glorious got Wood free two British pounds. You can find more on that said paper for this morning. We come back to Cameroon with the Cameroonian tabloid with the advocates. The advocate of Tabetang Enobika talks of Sago 2024 Sonora General Manager presence leaves strong impact at fair. And Professor Kingsley Leon Kalangange knighted notable by the Boya Paramount ruler. We move forward with this other story. Paul Ifumengale grabs Best City Mayor Awards, commits to do more at the just ended Anglophone Publishers Union, known for short as SEMPA. We move on to World Apostle of Fatima Cameroon prays for peace at Congress. Get to read that story of the Advocates newspaper of Tabetang Enobika for this morning. From the Advocates, we cross over to the Guardian Post. The Guardian Post for this morning says for positioning companies at the heart of important projects, Gamtel General Manager crowned Woman of the Year. This was during an award organized by English language publishers, known for short as SEMPA. Magribi Eye Hospital wins Best Eye Hospital Awards in the country ahead of elections. Senator for Tabetando Demso calls for unity among CPDM supporters in Tico. We move on to this other story. Now we football tournament championed by the Member of Parliament for the Boya Urban Constituency, Honorable Malumba Eseme, kicks wax strong in Boya. The Eagle's Eyes for this day says Ngala Gerard wins most patriotic community mobilizer. In that said paper, parliamentary mission, Hagu Oliver advocates for low-cost internet governance. Get to read more on that paper for today. Wrap up the program with the last paper for today, the Financial Times. Financial Times talks of Revs unveils incredibly tough choices to plunge 22 billion British pounds fiscal haul, and Brussels ready to tackle Trump tariff threat with carrot and stick strategy. With Financial Times, this is what concludes today's news, today's package of the program.